Have you ever really stopped to think about how a big company decides what it's going to do for the next, say, 5 years? Well, today we get a peek behind the curtain. We're going to follow a real company, Ariobex, as they build their entire corporate strategy from the ground up. This is the real story of how these huge decisions get made.
So, yeah, how does it happen? Is it some genius CEO having a big idea in the shower? Is it just a mad scramble to react to whatever the market is doing? The truth is, it's usually a much more deliberate process, and we're about to see exactly how Ariobex took on that very challenge.
So picture this. The entire Ariobex board locked away for 2 full days. Their one and only mission? To hammer out a clear, actionable strategy. We're going to be a fly on the wall and follow their journey, right from the very first brainstorming session to the final finished roadmap. Okay, so where do you even begin a journey like that? Well, for Ariobex, it started with a really honest look in the mirror. Before you can figure out where you're going, you have to get brutally honest about where you are right now. They kick things off with a classic SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you can see the main story right away. They've got some massive strengths, right? A super skilled workforce, great relationships with the government, but they're being held back by some pretty big weaknesses, like serious project management issues and, get this, the lack of a clear strategy. That's literally the problem they were there to solve. Let's just double-click on that project management weakness for a second. The leadership team knew this wasn't a small thing. We're talking about inefficiencies and a real lack of automation that were dragging the whole company down. Any new plan had to fix this. And here is where the view from the boardroom smacks right into reality on the ground. This quote, it's from an employee workshop. They're calling out a specific, troubled project by name. This just proves that project management challenges wasn't some abstract business school jargon. It was a real, painful headache for the people doing the work every day. A good strategy has to solve problems just like this. All right, so after looking inward, the next logical step for Ariobex was to look outward. I mean, no company is an island, right? Understanding the world they operate in was the next critical piece of this giant puzzle.
For this, they used a pestle analysis. It's a way to scan the horizon by looking at political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. And this is where things get really interesting. See that technological factor? It highlighted the need to adopt new project management tech. Boom. It directly connects an outside trend to one of their biggest internal weaknesses. This is exactly how a smart strategy starts to take shape.
So now, with a clear picture of what's happening inside the company and outside in the world, Ariobex was finally ready to define its destination. This is the moment they get to answer the really big questions. Who do we actually want to be? Where are we trying to go? And this became their North Star. I mean, just listen to that. This vision is so much bigger than just putting up buildings. They want to be catalysts in smart city development, using tech to transform lives. It is ambitious, it's inspiring, and it gives every single person in the company one powerful goal to aim for.
Now, if the vision is the destination on the map, then the mission, well, that's the vehicle that's going to get them there. The mission is all about how they'll do it. It breaks that big vision down into what they'll actually do. Build smart cities, protect the environment, and empower communities. It's the practical game plan.
They even boiled down their whole philosophy into this simple, really powerful motto: sustainability for good. What this means for Ariobex is that making money and making a positive impact aren't two separate things. They're two sides of the very same coin. It's a very modern, and I think very smart, way to think about business. And finally, they laid out their moral compass. These 5 values: respect, integrity, collaboration, innovation, and inclusion. Think of these as the non-negotiable rules of the road that will guide every single decision they make. This is the heart and soul of the company going forward. Look, a great vision is inspiring stuff, for sure, but a vision without a concrete plan, it's just a nice dream. So this next part is maybe the most important: building the bridge from that big, exciting destination to what people are going to do on a Monday morning. So to turn their vision into a real plan, Ariobex used a tool called the Balanced Scorecard. The big idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Don't just focus on the money. This framework forces a company to look at everything: customer happiness, internal processes, how your people are growing, to make sure the whole strategy is healthy and, well, balanced. And using that framework, they came up with these 5 strategic pillars. These are the main highways on their new roadmap. And hey, take a look at pillar number 3, automate internal business processes. See? It directly tackles that weakness we saw right at the beginning. This is a strategy that's actually listening to the company's own problems.
And this is probably my favorite part. Here's a perfect example of how it all came together. An idea that came from an employee workshop to invest in better management systems was channeled directly into one of the company's top 5 strategic pillars. This shows that the strategy wasn't just handed down from on high. It was genuinely built with ideas from all across the organization.
A big high-level pillar like develop stakeholder management can't just hang out in the clouds. It has to become real work. And here we see exactly how that happens. It trickles down and becomes a concrete project for a specific department. Create a communication protocol. That is how a big idea becomes someone's actual job. Okay, so they've got the vision, they've got the values, they've got the strategic pillars. The very last piece of the puzzle is the timeline. How are they actually going to make all this stuff happen? They laid it all out on a 4-year timeline. It's a really smart, phased approach. 2025 is the foundational year, all about culture and getting the frameworks right. Then 2026 is the growth year. 2027 is all about efficiency and automation. And finally, 2028 is for optimization. It's a logical, step-by-step plan that makes this huge undertaking feel totally achievable. So after all that, what did they have? 5 crystal-clear strategic pillars that now act as the guideposts for every major decision the company makes. And those 5 pillars all come together to support one single unified strategy. The whole point is to get every single person in the company pulling in the exact same direction. And that really is the biggest takeaway here. This strategy isn't just some document that's going to sit in a drawer. It's designed to be a living, breathing roadmap that connects the daily tasks of every single employee to that big, ambitious vision. It makes everyone feel like they're part of the same shared journey. So Ariobex did all the hard work. They've drawn a clear, beautiful map that shows them exactly how to get to their destination. But that leaves us with one final thought. Is drawing the map the hardest part? Or is the real journey, the execution, the unexpected challenges, the day-to-day discipline, only just beginning?